Ah, she's not even in English. Oh wait, I gotta go back there. Trudeau walking down the aisle. That's the funniest fucking thing ever. Look at this guy. Look at how he's walking. Alright, let's get back to the live feed. He was walking like Ace Ventura. He was the goddamn pet detective.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Holy. Look at this.
Mr. Speaker.
There's a lot of lying liberals there. A lot of liars.
Team, just like the Liberal government.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Oh, Greg's starting off early, already loving his job. Colleagues.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I want to thank all members of this House for their rousing show of confidence. I have to say, the Liberal Party, as is the Liberal government, totally united on holding the Conservative Party to account for the fact that they want to cut programs, cut services, cut initiatives that will help Canadians grow the economy, keep inflation down, and make sure there's a strong, prosperous future for all Canadians. That's what we're focused on. While Conservatives focus on petty politics, we'll stay focused on delivering for Canadians.
Oh boy.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. That was a question in French, by the way, Mr. Speaker. 24 Liberal members recognize that this Prime Minister is not worth the cost, the crime, the corruption, and now the chaos. Finally, today, they needed to muzzle half of these members at the caucus, forcing some of them to go to the bathroom to send text messages to the journalists telling them what's going on at the caucus. The Liberal members know what Canadians have already knew, that the Prime Minister is not worth the cost, the crime, and the corruption. When will the elections be? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, while the Conservatives are concerned with division and personal attacks, we're focused on the fact that we have to deliver for Canadians, deliver dental care for seniors, deliver more daycare spots, deliver investments in a greener economy and creating jobs for the future. The Conservatives are offering austerity and cuts. That's not what Canadians need. We need a government to be here to invest in their future, and that's exactly what we're doing, because confident governments invest in their citizens, and that's exactly why our economy is improving so much.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, after 9 years of this Prime Minister, costs are high. Housing costs have doubled. The national debt has doubled. Housing costs are out of control, and the Parliament is paralyzed with corruption that the Prime Minister is trying to hide from Canadians. And now there are at least 24 Liberal members of Parliament who are saying that the Prime Minister needs to resign. In addition, immigration is out of control. He cannot fix what he's broken while he's facing a rebellion. Can he trigger an election right now? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, all Canadians clearly see that the Conservative leader is only offering cuts and austerity and empty slogans. They need solutions, and that's why we're putting forth solutions for dental care, investments in a green economy, investments to attract worldwide companies in fintech through electric vehicles, AI, and quantitative technology. We're going to be here to invest in the future of this company and focused on the future, while the Conservatives just want to bring us back to the Stone Age.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
After 9 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister, costs up, taxes up, crimes up, And according to 24 Liberal MPs, time is up.
Oh, I thought it was a new
This Prime
slogan.
Minister has doubled housing cost, doubled the national debt, given us the worst economy in the G7. He's paralyzed Parliament with a cover-up of corruption, and 2 million people are lined up at food banks, but he cannot fix what he broke because his caucus is revolting. Will he call a carbon tax election today?
Well, the reason they call them the far right is because they lean so incredibly far left. Like, if you just sit in the center and look at both sides, you can clearly see the Liberals are fucking deranged.
With the Canada Carbon Rebate, more places at $10 a day childcare right across the country, dental care for seniors and more Canadians of all ages as we move forward to deliver things that are easing pressures on the pocketbooks and building a strong economy for everyone. This is the work that we're doing that we will continue to do. While the leader of the opposition tosses around empty slogans and plays politics, we'll stay focused on the things that matter to Canadians.
That's right.
You are politicians. Your job is politics. My God.
24 Liberal MPs went to his caucus today to tell him that he's not worth the crime, cost, or corruption. They wanted to tell him that he's doubled housing costs, doubled the national debt, sent 2 million people to the food banks, but he wouldn't let them. He silenced half of the dissidents. In fact, some were intimidated so much so that even Rosemary Barton, the Prime Minister's favorite journalist, said people don't have phones in the room and some people are going to the bathroom texting us. Mr. Speaker, will the Prime Minister text those dissident Liberal MPs, tell them to come out of the bathroom and tell the whole world that he's not worth the cost?
Uh-oh, not the bathroom.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, in our caucus, people have always been free to speak their mind and have different perspectives.
Uh-oh.
What's interesting, Mr. Speaker, is nobody in the Conservative caucus seems to have spoken out when one of their members got an all-expenses-paid trip to an extreme anti-abortion church in Florida.
Okay, Trudeau, you can't go on talking about all-inclusive paid-for trips on the other side. That's the pot calling the kettle black, all right? We need to take a step back here.
And nobody spoke up and is continuing to speak up when their leader refuses to get a security clearance so he can deal with foreign interference.
The chair is knowing that today is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, Greg. I'm glad you noticed that.
A lot of calls from both sides of the House. I'm going to ask members, please not.
You gonna tell us what the weather's like today as well, Greg?
By the Speaker, to do that so that we can hear the questions, we can hear the answers.
The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, I think that it is more honourable to leave all the Liberal troubles to them. But I'll talk about another phenomena: intimidation, corporal punishment, and lack of confidence in science. Is the PM concerned that the situation at Bedford School in Montreal, because of religious intransigence, is concerning? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the Bloc leader knows full well that on this side of the House, we respect provincial jurisdiction with respect to education, but we're always going to be here to defend freedom of expression and to defend fundamental freedoms that all Canadians have rights to. And these are freedoms that ensure that we are a free, democratic, and open country with values that are always on the forefront. The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. Mr. Speaker, I understand that the Prime Minister has his thoughts somewhere else, but is he saying that forced religious education in a school and corporal punishment are freedom of expression of professors? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. No, Mr. Speaker, that's not at all what I've said. I have underscored that administration of schools is under provincial jurisdiction, and we expect the province to take care of its jurisdiction, but we're always going to defend fundamental freedoms of all Canadians, and that includes children who have a right to be educated in a way that reflects our values as Canadians and Quebecers.
The honourable member from Burnaby
Jagmeet.
South.
I recognize that the Prime Minister is distracted, but there's a recent survey that's come out that shows that over half of Canadians are having a hard time with the cost of groceries. Now, too many in this chamber are more worried about themselves than kids going to
really,
sleep hungry
Jagmeet?
in our country. Why has this Prime Minister
He's doing it
refused to take
again.
action on painful food prices?
He did it again.
The right
Wow.
honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have taken action and will take more action. We move forward on increasing competition rules so that the Competition Bureau can go after people who are and companies that are gouging Canadians. At the same time as we're delivering more supports, whether it's with the National School Food Program that's putting more money in the pockets of families by giving them breaks on their groceries so kids can actually eat healthy foods at schools, or delivering a Canada carbon rebate. Unfortunately, that carbon rebate that puts more money in families' pockets has just seen the NDP pull their support from it, even though it's helping Canadians with affordability, and we will continue to be there to fight climate change.
Yeah, I feel bad for the farmers that are getting hit with the most absurd carbon tax, whatever you want to call it. Just, brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal.
People are losing hope.
Uh-oh. Why does Greg do that, like, smug smile? What is oh, he is smiling. Yeah, exactly. He knows it's a big fucking game. He knows it's a big joke. Look at this guy. Look at him. It's because he knows the insults are funny, but he has to do his job.
Please.
I'll invite the honourable member from Burnaby South to start from the top, and let me just encourage the honourable member and all honourable members to make sure that your questions and comments are directed through the chair. The honourable member from Burnaby South.
Has the Prime Minister actually ever been to a grocery store?
People are losing hope. The Angus Reid study shows that over 40% of renters have given up on the dream of owning their own home. The Conservatives cut housing construction in Canada and let 800,000 affordable housing units disappear. The Liberals had 9 years. Why hasn't the Prime Minister repaired that damage? The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Both questions the leader of the NDP had. I've actually been to a grocery store with you, Mr. Speaker, in your riding a few years ago in Hull Elmer. And I've been to many grocery stores since.
Congratulations, Trudeau.
Housing, Mr. Speaker. We have created a program to invest in housing, affordable housing across our country, with more than $900 million for Quebec, and we continue to invest to ensure affordable housing, while the Conservative Party is just offering cuts in housing programs. We're going to...
Trudeau is like, yeah, I went to a grocery store, like, I don't know, 20 years ago when I was in college or whatever. Like, get the fuck out of here. This guy's such an idiot.
I'd like to reassure...
Brings up the most irrelevant shit. Obviously, he didn't say that, but that it might as well, right? He might as well have said that. Like, fuck.
The flame market is in my right. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Prime Minister like to go grocery shopping together, Mr. Speaker. And if you had, you would know that, of course, food prices have risen 36% faster in Canada than they did in the United States during the last 4 years, and that gap grew in line with the carbon tax. The leader of the NDP apparently likes to shop at Metro, for which his brother's company is the chief lobbyist. So maybe the leader of the NDP can tell us, 24 Liberal MPs have lost confidence in the Prime Minister. Will the leader of the NDP finally vote for a carbon tax election?
Oh boy.
The Right Honourable